Hello, my dear students. I welcome you all for the almost last session of our word problems dealing with linear equation in two variables. These are almost the last type of questions. With this, I will be finishing majority or almost all type of questions. These questions mainly are dependent on the formula speed is equal to distance upon time. We are going to mainly use this formula. So let us consider the first question. A boat travels 16 kilometer. This is 16 kilometer upstream and 24 kilometer downstream in 6 hours. The same boat travels 36 kilometer upstream and 48 kilometer downstream in 13 hours. Find the speed of the water current and the speed of the boat in still water. This is very important. Still water. Speed of boat in still water. Okay, this also is a part that we have to understand. But before that, let us understand the action that is taken place by the boat. What actually is the boat undergoing? See, my dear students, in the question, they are talking about a stream which is flowing in one direction. Now there is a boat which what it does is that it travels down. It is telling 16 kilometer upstream and 24 kilometer downstream. Means first what happens, the boat, I'm sorry, I should have drawn over here first. First the boat travels like this, 16 kilometer upstream in this direction. After reaching over here at 16 kilometer, after reaching 16 kilometer over here, of course it will take some time to travel 16 kilometer upstream. You know, 1, this is 10, this is supposing, okay, forget it. To travel 16 kilometer upstream, it will take some time. It reaches over here 16 kilometer upstream, it takes some time, and from here again it travels down 24 kilometer downstream. Okay, and then it will reach somewhere else. Of course, definitely it will be down over here. To come from here 24 kilometer downstream, again it will take some time. We don't know the independent time. How much time boat has taken to go upstream, 16 kilometer upstream, we don't know. Separately, we don't know how much time he has taken to go 24 kilometer downstream. But total time, when it started from here, it went 16 kilometer upstream and came back 24 kilometer downstream. That time the total time taken was 6 hours. Okay. Then we have a separate episode. This was one episode, another day. Again what happens, the boat now travels 36 kilometer upstream. It goes 36 kilometer upstream and it reaches a point. How much time it took to travel from here till 36 kilometer upstream, we don't know. But then it came 48 kilometer downstream. Definitely it will cross and it will reach somewhere down. Fine. Time taken to travel 36 kilometer upstream separately, we don't know. Time taken to travel 48 kilometer downstream separately, we don't know. But total time taken to go 36 kilometer upstream and come back 48 kilometer downstream, the total time taken is 13 hours. Here it is 6 hours. Now this is the question. Now this is the action that is happening in the question, that the boat is behaving like this. Okay, I repeat, in the first example, the boat goes 16 kilometer upstream and again returns 24 kilometer downstream. And to do this action, it takes 6 hours in all, total. Sorry. In another action, it goes 36 kilometer upstream and returns 48 kilometer downstream. To do this travel 36 kilometer upstream and return 48 kilometer downstream, it has taken 13 hours. These are the two actions. Now they are asking you, find the speed of water current. You understand this current, this river, that the water is running over that in the stream, that will be having some speed. What is the speed of that water? And mind you, what is the speed of the boat in still water? Still water means water which is still. Something of this sort. Still water means you can talk about the water in the swimming pool or in a lake. If in this still water the boat is traveling, then what must be the speed of the boat? If it is traveling with a constant speed, if whatever the speed it is traveling over here, if it is traveling with a constant speed, then what is the speed of this boat when you check it in the still water? Now why do you consider this still water? See my dear students, speed of the boat will definitely change. When will it change? When it is traveling upstream, it will be different, definitely the same. Supposing if it is traveling with the speed in this still water, supposing in this still water it is traveling with the speed of 5 km per hour. Supposing, that's too less, but still 5 km per hour. This is the speed in the still water. When the water is still, lake is still, it is a long water, the river is not flowing anywhere, and the boat will run. It will complete, it will be too less, 15 km in 1 hour. Okay, that will be the speed of the boat, 15 km in 1 hour. Same boat which has the ability of traveling 15 km per hour, in 1 hour it is traveling 15 km. Same boat, if I bring it over here in this stream which has got a running water, now when it is traveling upstream, when it is traveling against the water, direction of water, will it travel same with the speed of 15 km per hour? Will it be able to cover same 15 kilometers in 1 hour? Definitely not, because the stream will be pushing it down. The stream will be pushing it down, but definitely her speed will reduce, right? And same if supposing when it is traveling downstream, will it cover 15 km even now? No, now it will be the speed of the boat will be more than the speed of 15 km per hour, because the stream also is adding its speed to it. It is pushing the boat down. Stream is pushing the boat down and boat also is running in the same direction. So both the speeds add up. Here the speed, when it is traveling upstream, the speed reduces. Try to understand. When the boat is traveling upstream, the speed of the boat will reduce because the stream will pull it down. And when the boat is traveling downstream with the stream, then the speed of the boat will increase because the stream will push it down. This is the concept that you have to understand. So now, if we have to really understand the speed of the boat, we can't consider the speed of the boat when it is going upstream, because that is not the true speed of the boat. When you are considering the speed of the boat downstream, that is also not the true speed of the boat. So we will have to consider this. To understand the speed of the boat, we will have to consider the speed of the boat in still water, when the water is not changing the speed of the boat. The water is not affecting the speed of the boat in any way. For that we will have to consider the still water. Okay, my dear students, now comes the another part. See, try to understand. First you have to understand the question, what is happening in the question. It is very important to understand the action that this boat is traveling upstream and it is traveling downstream. Time taken to go upstream and downstream, both the time is given to you. Total time is given to you. In the first case it is 6 hours, in the second case it is 13 hours. Okay, this you have to understand. Separate time to go 16 kilometer upstream, you don't know. Separate time to go 24 kilometer downstream, you don't know. But total time to go up and down is given to you 6 hours. Similarly in this question, this action. So these two things, first you understand these things. And then you have to understand the question where they are asking you the speed of the water current and the speed of the boat. Now speed of the water current is not going to change. It is going to be same. But speed of the boat is changing. When it is going upstream, the speed of the boat will be reduced compared to its normal speed. Normal speed is the speed of the boat in the still water. So when the boat is going upstream, the speed of the boat will be reduced, and when it is going downstream, means downstream along the stream, then the speed of the boat will be increased. Understand this first, that the stream is going to affect the speed of the boat. Now comes the next question. Ultimately, the third part that you have to understand, that when the boat is going upstream, definitely the speed of the boat will reduce. But by how much? What is the speed of the boat at that time when it is traveling up speed? It is going to be reduced, but then what it will be? See, my dear students, if the speed of the boat is 15 km per hour and I consider the speed of the stream is, supposing, 5 km per hour. One more thing that you have to understand, I don't know whether I'll remember to explain you that, but there are two conditions over here. But let me take this one example. Speed of the boat is 15 km per hour and speed of the stream is 5 km per hour. 15 km per hour in still water, 5 km per hour is the speed of the stream. Now when the boat is traveling upstream, what will be the speed of the boat? It will be reduced. Not 15 km per hour, it will be less than 15 km per hour. But then how much? It will reduce by what? It will be reduced by the speed of the stream. 15 minus 5. It will then go with the speed of 10 km per hour. That means after 1 hour, it will be able to complete only 10 kilometers if the speed of this boat is 15 km per hour. Are you getting? The speed of the boat will reduce. Reduced by what? Reduced by the speed of the stream. How much is the speed of the stream? By that much the speed of the boat will reduce. And even when it is getting added up, when it is going downstream, supposing the speed of the boat is 15 km per hour, speed of the stream is 5 km per hour. Now when the boat is running downstream, its speed will increase by how much? 5 km per hour. The speed will add its own speed to the boat. The stream will add its own speed to the speed of the boat, and the total speed of the boat will be 15 plus 5, 20 km per hour when it is going downstream. This you have to understand. If you understand this, only then you have the authority to solve this question. Afterwards, then you have to behave in the same fashion when you are solving this question. Try to understand. One more part. I have taken the speed of the boat is 15 km per hour and the speed of the stream is 5 km per hour. These all things are very common sense, my dear students. So I first took, if you remember, I had taken some speed of some different speed, but actually there are some common sense which normally you students don't normally apply. If you are applying, it is a good thing. You should know what is a normal speed, what is an abnormal speed. Even if a man normally walks, a normal person walks, then also the normal person will cover at least not less than 1 kilometer in maybe 15 minutes maximum, even if he's strolling. That is also, I'm on the higher side. Usually around 10 to 12 minutes a person should cross 1 kilometer. Are you getting? So when a person is walking and crossing 1 kilometer in 12 to 15 minutes, so definitely for covering that someone 5 kilometer if he is covering, if I took first 5 kilometer if he is covering, so 5 kilometer he will take hardly 50 minutes to 1 hour 15 minutes. That will be too less for the boat to travel. Forget about that. My main question is that, can I reverse these speeds? Can I say that the boat is traveling with the speed of 15 km per hour and stream is traveling with the speed of 20 km per hour? Can I do that? Can that anytime happen? Actually, this was the topic which we should have discussed in front, and it would have been interesting topic to discuss in front. But no, my dear students, I can't do that. And even the question also, I can't take the speed of the stream higher than the speed of the boat. Why? It is possible. It is definitely possible. At times, the speed of the stream is much more higher than the speed of the boat. It definitely is practically possible. But can I take that in this example? I can't do that, because in my examples, my boat is climbing upstream. It is traveling upstream. If the speed of the stream is higher than the speed of the boat, then the boat will not be able to climb up. The stream will take the boat with it down. The moment in my example the boat is able to climb upstream, it means the speed of the boat has to be greater than the speed of the stream. Okay, my dear students. So now let us go to solve this question. Why I am telling this and why we have to consider all these things, you will come to know soon. See, my dear students. First, what I will tell, let the speed of boat in still water be equal to x kilometer per hour. Let the speed of stream be equal to y kilometer per hour. Okay, so now we have to undergo these cases. Therefore, speed of boat upstream. What will be the speed of boat upstream? Actually, it is taken to be x kilometer per hour. The speed of the stream is y kilometer per hour. The speed of the boat upstream will be only and only x minus y kilometer per hour. Remember, while subtraction you have to be very careful. You have to take the greater value first. Greater value minus the smaller value. X is going to be greater any given time because it is the speed of the boat. Speed of the boat being greater than the speed of the stream. Again, I have explained why the speed of the boat is going to be always greater, because this boat is climbing upstream. So you have to take x minus y only. You can't take y minus x. You have to be very, very, very careful over here. The moment you write it reverse, you will get all type of absurd answers. This is, while subtraction you have to be very careful. While addition it's okay. So therefore the speed of the boat upstream is what? Upstream, when it is going, the speed of the boat is x minus y kilometer per hour, and speed of the boat is definitely x plus y kilometer per hour. Now, while writing addition, you can write in any way. X plus y, y plus x is not going to make a difference. but x minus y and y minus x makes a huge difference. So this is done. Now we have understood three things: speed of the boat upstream, speed of the boat downstream, and speed of the boat. These are the three main important things. Why? Because it is with this speed the boat is traveling upstream, it is with this speed the boat is traveling downstream, and it is with this speed the boat is traveling in the stream. So since speed is equal to distance upon time, now we have to calculate time. Therefore time, why we have to calculate time? I have taken time over here, speed over here. I can always shift it. Why we have to calculate time? Because I know the total time. I know the total time. I will be now able to calculate time taken to go upstream. See, time taken to go upstream will be, now time to go upstream will be distance taken to go upstream. How much distance he has gone upstream? 16 kilometer. Upon speed of upstream is x minus y. This is the time taken to go upstream. Similarly, time to go downstream. How much distance the boat has traveled downstream? 24 kilometer downstream. So 24 upon, now but while going downstream, what is the speed? X plus y. This is the time taken to go downstream. So this is the time taken to go upstream. This is the time taken to go downstream. I know the total time is 6 hours. So according to first information, what do I have? To go upstream, 16 distance upon speed. This is the time taken to go upstream, 16 kilometer distance upon time, speed x minus y, plus downstream the speed is, distance is 24 upon speed is x plus y. This is the time taken to go 16 kilometer upstream. This is the time taken to go 24 kilometer downstream, but this total time is 6 hours is given to us. Okay, my dear students, this you have understood now. So this way we have got the first equation, and similarly according to second information. Now in the second information, what is happening? In second case, he is going 36 kilometer upstream. The time taken to go 36 kilometer will be distance 36, time and speed will be x minus y. Time taken to go 48 kilometer downstream will be 48 upon x plus y. Distance upon speed, distance upon speed, distance gone upstream, speed while going upstream. Distance 36 kilometer upstream, distance x minus y, speed x minus y while going upstream. Distance 48 kilometer downstream, speed x plus y going downstream. This is the time. If I divide this, I will get the time to go upstream and downstream. This is the total time which is given to me as 13 hours. Fine. Now this is done. So with this we have finished off with all the raw material needed, and now we have to solve these two equations which you have mastered of. Here basically what we will do, let us substitute A is equal to 1 upon x minus y, B is equal to 1 upon x plus y. Okay, in place of a 1 upon x minus y, I will write A. Therefore from equation 1, 16 into 1 upon x minus y will give me 16a plus 24b is equal to 6. Now this I can I reduce this? I can divide this by 4. 16a plus 24b. No, not 4. 2 only. Only 2, nothing more than that. 2 2 because this cannot be divided by 4. Dividing throughout by this will be 2 8a 12b is equal to 3. This will be my third equation. And from second equation I'll get 36a plus 48b. (36a) plus 48b is equal to 13. Right? In place of 1 upon x minus y, I'll write a, and in place of 1 upon x plus y, I'll write b is equal to 13. This cannot be reduced because 13 will not be able to divide 48 now. So this will remain as my fourth equation. Now these are the two equations that I have got, 36a plus 48b and 30 is equal to. I'll take this 8a plus 12b is equal to 3 over here for you to understand. 8a plus 12b is equal to 3. This is actually my third equation. Fine. Now you can make out. So if I have to equalize them, I can definitely not equalize 8 to 36, but I can definitely equalize 12 to 48. So multiplying equation 3 by 4. 4 8s are, this will give you 32a plus 5th equation. So now these both are there. Now you will write subtracting equation 5 from 4. What do we get now? 36a. Oh, yeah, okay, fine. Now I will have to subtract this. This is gone. 36a minus 32a will give me 4a is equal to 1. 1 upon 4. I have got the value of a is equal to 1 upon 4. Now in which equation I will take a smaller one. Do I have a smaller one? 3. 8a plus 12b is equal to 3. A will give me 8 into 1 upon 4 plus 4. So this is what you have got. A is equal to 1 upon 4, B is equal to 1 upon 12. So now you will have to resubstitute. Resubstitute what actually you have done. A is equal to resubstituting A is equal to 1 upon x minus y. So you will get in place of A, what is A basically? 1 upon 4. Therefore, this is equation number 6. B is what you have got, 1 upon 12, I suppose. Therefore, you will get x plus y. Now we have to solve these two simultaneous equations. So adding 8 is the speed of the boat fine. Therefore, speed of boat, which is equal to x, we have taken 8 kilometer per hour. Of course, in still water. Okay, so now we have to verify the question. Verification is very important. So now we have understood that the speed of the boat is actually eight, and that of stream is equal to 4. So if this is the speed of the boat and the speed of the stream, now if I have to calculate, the speed of the boat upstream will be 8 minus 4, right? Upstream it will be reducing. Speed of the boat upstream will be 8 minus 4, 4 kilometer per hour. Okay, to go 16 kilometers upstream, 16 kilometers upstream, time taken T1, 16 kilometer upstream, it will be 16 upon 4 hours to go upstream. Now when it is coming downstream, the speed of the boat will be 8 plus 4, 12 kilometer per hour, and it is coming 24 kilometer downstream. T2 will be 24 kilometer downstream. At that time the speed of the boat is 12, 2. So 2 hours to come downstream. So total is 4 plus 2, 6 hours, right? He has taken 6 hours. Now if I consider this, T1, 36 kilometer upstream, speed of the boat upstream is 4 kilometer per hour. That will give you 9 hours to go upstream, and 48 kilometer downstream. But while coming downstream, the speed of the boat is 12 kilometer per hour. That will be 4 hours. If I add these two, it will be 13 hours. Okay, my dear student, so this is how you have to understand it. And with this, we have finished the first question. A lot of time to cover one question, because this has got some fundas. Don't worry, same time you won't take to do another type of question, because once you have understood the basic idea, you will be able to understand the rest. See here what is happening, but of course here also it is going to take time. Out of 1900 kilometer, Vishal traveled some distance by bus, some distance by aeroplane. Bus travels with a average speed of 60 km per hour, and the average speed of airplane is 700 km per hour. It takes 5 hours to complete the journey. Find the distance Vishal traveled by bus. This is very simple, my dear students. See, whatever it is, supposing when he is starting from here and he is going somewhere, the total distance is basically 1900 kilometers. The total distance is 1900 kilometers. Some distance is traveling by bus. Let us consider that this is the distance he is traveling by bus. So now you have to take the parameters. While traveling by bus, what is happening? So there are 3 parameters: speed, distance, time. Total, it takes 5 hours to complete the journey. Means total time is given to you. Are you getting? It takes 5 hours to complete the journey. Means to start from here and go 1900 km over here, some distance by bus and some distance by aeroplane, he is taking 5 hours. So we have to calculate time needed to cover this distance by bus and time needed to travel this distance by airplane. But to calculate time, you know that we have to know what? Distance upon speed. By bus, what distance he traveled, we don't know, let it be x kilometer. And by airplane, let him travel distance is equal to y kilometer. Fine. Now, speed also they have given. Speed of the bus 60 kilometer per hour. Everything is given. Speed of the airplane is 700 kilometer per hour. So now it is easy to calculate the time taken to go by bus will be distance upon speed. What is distance? X upon speed. What is speed? 60. This will be time taken to go by bus, and time taken to go by aeroplane will be time is equal to distance upon speed. Distance is y upon speed is 700. Fine. So total time taken T1 plus T2 basically is 5. That means x upon 60 plus y upon 700 is going to be equal to 5. This is going to be our first equation. Hope you all are understanding. This figure is very important. And what about the second equation? Very easy. See, my dear students, this is the distance he has traveled by bus. This is the distance he has traveled by plane. Total distance is 1900. Simple. This is your first equation. This is your second. Anyone you can take. Okay. Now, but that's all. This you have understood properly, then this question becomes easy, because achieving the equations itself is a challenge over here. Once the equations are achieved, then you have to just use your skills of linear equation and simultaneous equations and solve the values for equations for getting the values of x and y. So this was the explanation part, which is very important. Now I will start the question actually. Now I know what I have taken. Let the distance traveled by bus be equal to x kilometers. Yeah. See, airplane, sometimes we write it as aeroplane, which is definitely a right spelling. It is definitely a right spelling. Aeroplane is equal to y kilometer. This actually I am not going to explain this, because then again it will take a lot of time. This is right spelling. The only problem is coming because of the two dictionaries. One is the American dictionary and one is the British dictionary. That is the reason this type of complications are now coming. Now let us return to this. Distance traveled by x kilometer. Now therefore x plus y is equal to 1900. This will be your first equation. So this you have understood now. For time, now distance you know. Now therefore time taken to travel distance by bus will be what? Distance x by bus is x upon speed of the bus is 60 km per hour. Reason, time is equal to distance upon speed. If you bracket this, then also it's okay. Nice. Fine. And time taken to travel distance by air plane will be equal to distance by aeroplane is y km per hour, speed of aeroplane is 700. sorry, distance by aeroplane is y kilometer, speed of the aeroplane is 700 kilometer per hour, this much hours, this much hours. Therefore, according to given information, this distance, these hours 6 upon 60 and these hours y upon 7, this totally is given to 5 hours. Now we have to take care of the 60 and 700. To remove this 60 and 700, we have to multiply by the LCM of 60 and 700. So to get the LCM of 60 and 700, actually I have to get the LCM of 6 and 7, 42 I suppose. So this will be 5, 12 the 60, 4 the 0 the. Then 2, 6 the 70 the, 2, 3 the 35 the. This is done. 3 1s are 35s are, 7 5s are, 5 1. If I multiply all this, 5 2s are 10, then I take 2, this is 10, 2 3s are 6, 7s are 42. 42 into 10 will give me 420, into 5 will give me 5, 5 2s are 10, 5 4s are 20, 21. Okay, ऐसा कैसा हो गया? I hope all these things are right. 5 12 are 5, 1 are 5. Okay, fine. Multiplying. Fine. Right. So this is thing actually you should know. Though I was miscalculating, but definitely the backup monitor went wrong. But that is important that you have a backup monitor. That basically I divided these both by 100. Then I was finding the LCM of 6. Forget about that. Now this is right. Multiplying throughout by 200. 2100, 21 into x upon 16 plus. Here also we have to do that. Fine. So what do we get over here? This is gone, this is gone. 6 3 is 18, 19, 20, 21, 6 5 is 35. So we will get 6 5 is 30, 35x plus this is gone, 7, this will be 3y is equal to 0 0 5 2 is 10. So with this we have got the second equation. This is our first equation, second equation. So if we go to equate them, I will better multiply the first equation by 3. I will equate 3, multiplying equation 1 by 3. What do we get? This is our first equation. Okay, fine. So we get over here now we have got the two equations. Now we have to subtract this. 8, 4. Yes, 4800. So you'll get x is equal to, this will give me what? 8 4s are 8, 6 and then 00, 4 1s are 5s are 0. So therefore x is equal to 150. Substituting x is equal to 150 in equation 1. That is x plus fine. So these are the values you finally get. Therefore distance traveled by bus 150 kilometers. What have they asked for? Bus, that's all. Here itself question was solution ended, but of course we have to counter check. Definitely I don't have to solve it over here. Now see, distance traveled by bus, distance traveled is 150 and speed of the bus is 60 km/h. For aeroplane, distance traveled is 1750, speed of the aeroplane is 700 km/h. These are the informations that we have, and then time taken by bus will be how much? Distance traveled by bus 150 upon speed of the bus 60. 15 upon 6. 3 2s are 3 5s are. This will give me 2.5 hours. And here you will have 1750 upon 700. If I go to divide this, 5 1s are 5 4s are 5 3s are 15 75 5s are 25. So if I go to divide this again, 7 2s are 7 5s are, of course 2.5. So totally if I do, it is going to be 5 hours. Now let us go for question number 3. In question number 3, basically there is a mistake over here again. Places A and B are 30 km apart and they are on a straight road. See, this is again the same type, not a big difference. A and B, they are 30 km apart. This distance is 30 km and they are on the straight road. Hamid travels from A to B on bike. So this is Hamid. He travels in this direction on a bike. At the same time, Joseph travels from B on bike towards A. Now see, Joseph can travel in two directions, this or this, but they are clearly indicating that he travels towards A. From here he is traveling towards A. At the same time, towards A, they meet each other after 20 minutes. See here, they meet each other means actually when they come over here, he comes over here, they come over here, he comes over here. They meet each other after 20 minutes. So time taken by Hamid to travel from here to the meeting point is 20 minutes. Time taken by Joseph to travel from here to meeting point is again 20 minutes. Okay, this is the first case. First understand the question. Always understand the question first. This is the first case. Total distance is 30 km. Fine. And then what is happening afterwards? If Joseph would have started from B at the same time but in the opposite direction instead of towards A, okay, fine. So basically, if supposing the picture would have been like this, Hamid is traveling in this direction, Joseph is traveling in this direction, opposite direction instead of towards A. So Hamid is traveling like this. Hamid would have caught him after 3 hours. Now this is in minutes and this is in hours. Okay, means what? Hamid is traveling like this, Joseph is traveling like this, Hamid is traveling like this, Joseph is traveling like this, Hamid is traveling, Joseph is traveling, 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 Hamid catches him. So it is something like that. But to travel from here to here, Hamid takes 3 hours and Joseph also takes 3 hours to travel from here to here. But obvious that the speed of Hamid has to be greater than speed of Joseph. Plainly because of the common sense that if the speed of Hamid is greater, only then he will be able to catch up with Joseph. Otherwise, he would have not been able to catch up with Joseph. So definitely the distance traveled by Hamid has to be greater than the distance traveled by Joseph in the time of 3 hours. Find the speed of Hamid and Joseph. Okay. So let us consider speed of Hamid is equal to x. Speed of Joseph is equal to y. Speed they are asking, so speed has to be always in kilometer per hour. So this time they have given 20 minutes. In first case, time is both of them have got 20 minutes, but this 20 minutes is equal to 20 upon 60 hours, that will be 1 upon 3 hours. Fine. 2 1s are 2 3. So here for Joseph also time taken is 1 upon 3 hours. The distance is equal to speed is equal to distance upon time. The distance will be equal to speed into time. Time goes over there. So here the distance traveled by Hamid, this distance which Hamid has traveled. Try to understand, my dear. They are meeting in between. This distance that Hamid has traveled will be speed into time. Speed of Hamid is x. Time is 1 upon 3. That will be x upon 3 kilometers. Distance traveled by Hamid. And now we think about Joseph. Distance traveled will be speed is again y and time taken is 1 upon 3, that will be equal to y upon 3 kilometers. So this distance traveled by Hamid is x upon 3, this is y upon 3, this total distance is 30. So what is the equation that we will have is x upon 3 plus y upon 3 is equal to 30. This will be the equation that we will have from the first condition. In second condition, what happens again? But the speed of Hamid is going to be same x, speed of Joseph is going to be same y, of course, kilometers per hour. Time taken by him, both of them is 3 hours. Distance will be how much? 3x. Distance will be how much? 3y, of course, in kilometers. But now if you have to see the relation, this distance 3x minus this distance 3y will give you this distance, which is this 30. So you will have 3x minus 3y is equal to 30. This will be your second equation. See, my dear student, this all thought process is important. Before you solve these questions, you need to understand the question properly. What is happening in the question, because they are traveling in opposite direction. In this case, they are traveling in opposite direction. They meet between the distance. So you have to calculate the distance traveled by Hamid, you have to calculate the distance traveled by Joseph and add the two, then you will get 30 kilometers. In this case, you have to travel distance traveled by Hamid, distance traveled by Joseph, and then when you subtract the two, that will give you 30 kilometers. And for calculating the distance is equal to speed into time. So speed is equal to x, you have considered, speed is equal to y, we have considered. T is given to you. So this is how, my dear students, you have to think over. Now let us try to solve this question. See here, let speed of Hamid x kilometer per hour y kilometer per hour. Okay, you are understanding this? So you know your first condition, this is A, this is B, they are traveling like this and they are meeting in between. This is Hamid, this is Joseph. The speed of Hamid is x, speed of Joseph is y. So now time taken by both to cross each other is equal to 20 minutes, that is equal to 20 upon 60 hours, that is equal to 1 upon 3 hour. So this time basically both are taking is 1 upon 3 hour, 1 upon 3 hour. Therefore distance traveled by Hamid will be equal to what? Speed into time. Speed is x, time is 1 upon 3. So x into 1 upon 3, that is equal to x upon 3 kilometers. Distance traveled by Joseph is equal to y into 1 upon 3, that will be equal to y upon 3 kilometers. According to the information given, we have this distance x upon 3 and this distance y upon 3. When these distances are added and they both are meeting in between, so this distance is the distance traveled by Hamid, this distance is the distance traveled by Joseph. If you add these two distances, then that is going to be equal to 30 kilometers. So multiplying throughout by 3, x plus y is equal to 90. Okay, multiply 3, 3 cancel, 3 cancel, 3 are 90. This will be our first equation. Now considering the second one, in this case what is happening? They both are here, A, B, Hamid is here, Joseph is here. Speed of Hamid is x, speed of Joseph is y. They are traveling like this. They both meet each other here. The distance traveled by Hamid in case when they are traveling in same direction, Hamid catches with Joseph after 3 years. So distance traveled by (3x) kilometers Fine. In this case, this is the distance traveled 3x, this is the distance traveled 3y. 3x minus 3y, when we will cut them, then we will get 30. Now dividing throughout by 3, you will get x minus y is equal to 10. So this is your second equation. Adding x is equal to 50. Now substituting in which equation? 1 fine. Therefore speed of Hamid is equal to 50 km per hour. Speed of Joseph is equal to 40 km per hour. Fine. So with this we have finished with 50 km per hour for 40 km per hour. If I have to verify these two things, then what will happen? See, in the first case they will cross each other at 20 minutes. So let us consider that in 20 minutes what will be the distance traveled by? Yeah. See, where is the diagram? See, speed of Hamid is 50 we have got, and that of Joseph 40 we have got. Fine. So in first case this is 50, this is 40. So the distance traveled by Hamid will be how much? Speed into time. Time is 1/3, right? 1/3 hours. Distance speed is 50. So Hamid will be, distance will be 50/3. And similarly for Joseph will be, for speed is 40 into 1/3. So that will be equal to 40/3. If I add these two, I'll get what? 90/3. Total distance 30 किलोमीटर मिल गया बराबर, राइट है. If they go in this direction, that time distance traveled by Hamid will be 50 into 3, right है, 50 into 3, 50 into 3, 3x, that will be equal to 150. And distance traveled by Joseph will be 40 into 3, right? Because he is taking y, 40 into 3, 120 kilometers. This will be 150 kilometers. You subtract the two, you still get 30. Fine. What we are trying to do in the question, in the solution, same we try to do in the verification. We found the distance and then we added, we got 30. We found the distance traveled by both and then we subtracted, still we got 30. Okay, now let's go to question number 4. Places A and B are 100 km apart on a highway. Again, this is A, this is B. They are 100 kilometer per hour. One car starts from A, another from B at the same time. Same thing. One car, second car. If the car travels in the same direction and different speeds, means okay, they are traveling in the same direction like this. Okay, different speeds. They meet in different speeds. So after again the same thing. Speed of this is x, speed of this is y. Then they meet each other in y hours. See the same thing. They will travel like this and they will meet each other in 5 hours. Fine. Time is equal to 5 hours. Kilometer per hour. Kilometer per hour. Kilometer. Kilometer. So distance traveled over here will be speed into time 5x. Distance traveled over here will be speed into time 5y. But now you will have to subtract the two distances, therefore you get this in between 5x minus 5y will be this distance 100. This will become x minus y is equal to 20. In second case, if they travel towards each other, see the same question, you should be able to solve this. If you have understood this, then you can try solving this. They both will meet somewhere. Fine. Speed is equal to x, speed is equal to y, but now they meet each other in 1 hour. One x, one y. But this time you will tell, you will have to add them, and that will be equal to 100. This is the one. You should be able to solve this, my dear students. You can try it, pause the video and give it a try, and then you can counter check it. Let speed of car 1 equal to x kilometer per hour. Let speed of car 2 be equal to y kilometer per hour. So cars meet each other in 5 hours. Distance traveled by car 1 in 5 hours is equal to 5x kilometer. Distance traveled by car 2 in 5 hours is equal to 5y. Since distance is equal to speed into time, this you have to write, my dear students. You have to write over here. By this relation you are getting it. So according to given information, we have, what do we have? 5x plus 5y is equal to, total distance is how much? 100. Divide throughout by 5, you will get x plus y is equal to 20. This is your first equation. When cars travel towards each other, they cross after 1 hour. Time, distance traveled by car 1 after 1 hour will be x into 1 x kilometer. Distance traveled by car 2 after, speed into time, speed is y into time 1 y kilometer. Now they are traveling towards each other, so you will have to add the two distances according to given information. X plus y is equal to 100. So you have got the two equations. Now we can straight, this was subtraction, my dear. Away na, this is subtraction. They are traveling away from each other. This you have to subtract the two. Fine. 5x minus y. So adding equation 1 and 2. X minus y is equal to 20, I suppose we have got over there. That was 5x minus 5y is equal to 100. So you will, then here it will be x plus y is equal to 100. 2x is equal to 120. So you will get x is equal to, this will be the value of x. Equation 1, x minus y is equal to 20. Speed of car 1 is equal to 60 kilometer per hour. Speed of car 2 is equal to 40 kilometer per hour. Simple. Of course we can verify that. Car 1, which one is this? Okay, here we are. Car 1 60, car 2, here speed is equal to 60, car 2 speed is equal to 40 km per hour. So in this case, distance traveled by car 1 will be 5 into x, 5 into 60, 300 kilometer. Here it will be 5 into 40, 200 kilometer. If you subtract the two different distances, 300 minus 200, 100. In this case, distance traveled will be x into 1, speed is 60, x into 1 means 60 into 1, 60, speed is 40, 40 into 1, 40, so 60 plus 40 will again give you 100. Okay, so with this we have finished 4 questions. Actually this question number 5, I missed this out. This is not from this lot, actually it is from the questions of problems based on formulas of the geometrical figures or properties of the mathematical properties. The area of a rectangle gets reduced by 9 square units if its length reduced by 5 units and breadth is increased by 3 units. So you are playing with units length and breadth in one case, and the other case find the dimensions of the rectangle. Means what are you, in the first case they are telling length is reduced by 5 units and breadth is increased by 3 units. Then what happens? The area gets changes, reduced by 9 square units. They are then telling that how the area changes. So first, what is the normal in normal circumstances? Let the length of x units, let the y units. Therefore, since area of rectangle length into breadth. We know this area of rectangle is equal to length into breadth. So therefore we will have area of will be equal to xy square units. Fine. This is going to be now according to first information, whatever they have done, length is equal to how much? What they have done to the length? Length is reduced by 5, means first it was x, now it is 5, x minus 5 units. Breadth is increased by 3, y plus 3 units. Then area of length into breadth. Then they are telling area of, in this case, area of rectangle will be xy plus 3x, right? Are you getting x into y, x into 3 minus 5y minus 15. But then they are telling according to given information. Now this is your area of rectangle, xy plus 3x minus 5y minus 15. This area is basically less. It has got reduced by 9. It has got reduced by 9 compared to the previous. Previous was xy. Then this is that. Are you getting? From 9 when I reduce this, from xy when I reduce this 9, then this area is equal to this area. These both become equal areas. So now if I see xy will get cancelled. Then 3x minus 5y is equal to minus 9 plus 15. 3x minus 5y is equal to 16. राइट है? क्या कर रहा हूँ मैं? 6 sorry 6. This is your first. Okay, and then according to second information, what are they doing? In second, what they are doing, again they are changing the length. You will be having a new length and you will be having a new breadth. What is the new length? Length is increase the length by 3 units. Means first it was x, now it has become 3 units. And breadth by, both are increased. Both are increased. But length is increased by 3 units, breadth is increased by 2 units. Now area of rectangle. This is the area of rectangle. But now they are telling the area increases by 61 square units. So this area, whichever is the new area, is actually increased by 61 compared to the previous. Previous was xy. Now xy plus 67. xy plus 67. These both will be equal now. This basically area is increased by 67 compared to the previous one. Previous was xy. So now again the same thing, you will cancel this and then you will get 2x plus 3y is equal to 67 minus 6. Second. So now both are crossed, so you will have to multiply both the equations, multiplying first equation by 3. What is the first equation? 3x minus 5y is equal to 6. And then multiplying equation. What is equation 2? 2x plus 3y is equal to 61. This will multiply by three 23. No other go, we'll have to divide them and see. Nineteen, 29, 30, 31, 32, that will be 13. Now this will give you 7 9s are 63, 7 8 9 10 11 12 13. Yes. This will become 17. In equation, which one will you take? 1. What is equation 1? 3x minus 5y. Therefore, you get length is equal to 17 units, 9 units. Okay, so this question is very easy. You can actually verify it in this way only what they have told. See, actually in first case the length is equal to 17, breadth is equal to 9. Fine, 17 and 9. So what is this? (53) 9 7 is 63. Yes, 143 units is the area. The area basically is equal to 143 units. In second, this is the usual condition. In second condition, what they are doing? They are reducing the length by 5. Means 17 minus 5 will give you 12, and increasing the breadth by 3. So 9 plus 3 will give you 12. Now the area will become 144, length into breadth, 12 into 12, 144. So this is the condition, but then it has reduced by 3 by, it gets reduced by how much? By 9. Alright, 153. Now if you subtract the 2, 153 minus 144, you will get 9. So the length, the area is reduced by 9. It has become, first it was 153, now it has become 144. In the third condition, what they are doing? They are increasing both the cases. They are increasing length by 3, 17, 18, 19, 20, and the breadth they are increasing by 2, 9, 10, 11. So it becomes 11 zeros, 11 twos are 22, 220 it has become. So now if you will subtract the 2, 220 minus 153, you will get 67. Right? That is what they have told. It will increase by 67. Fine, my dear students. So with this we have finished all possible portion that you need to have for a solid base. If you have understood all these questions nicely, what we have done till date, then definitely I feel that you will be able to face any word problem if you have understood it properly, thoroughly. We have covered almost all the questions, my dear students, all type of questions, of course, definitely, but we will be solving much more maths in the coming time, and then we will be getting even more type of different questions, different type of questions, and we will be facing them together. But first, to face any question paper or any new question, you have to understand these all type of questions that we have done till date. Okay, my dear students, solve properly, stay home, stay healthy, stay calm, stay happy. Thank you. Love you all. Bye, my dear students.